last night, but it has certainly been a saving grace for them, allowing the likes of Swiper to get ahead nice and early, and have Fury done enough to not only prevent that, but then perhaps in their own vein, even look at sneaking away some pressure of their own. Here we go then, game number one. It's day two of the playoffs as we jump into the lower bracket, a single best of three determining whether or not you're going home or you get another chance to work towards PCS.
And there's so much on the line there, isn't it? You can see in Chirp's camera, you can see him just trying to settle in to the atmosphere that is playoffs, right? Obviously, there's so much on the line, and unlike Antic, who have been here many times before, the threat of an elimination game is certainly something not to be underestimated. So, standard level 1 here, I do like this approach from Fury. You know, their bot side 3v3, it's not the worst, but Vi level 1 is pretty useless, and you are going up against the Nautilus Talia mid-sup combo. So, just going to be all standard for now, as Swiper might be looking to get a Raptor ward with Talia here. The way he's positioning, actually, he's looking for an invade here. So I think that Antic, they're trying to take away this Raptor camp and potentially stop Nox from getting his red.
See that the ward does go across, and Fury are well aware of it. Double ward actually getting placed on Dan, as Zonas and Swiper are both in the area. And just like that, they're going to walk straight towards the Raptors, take that one away, whilst Fury, or whilst Tomasino, I should say, is there to protect and help leash on that red. But Zonas has been an absolute menace as this mini now is going to make sure that Nox goes down to 30%, getting lower and lower. The smite comes out, but Swiper with the flash done against the wall and says, that's my red buff, and that's my first blood.
Really smart level 1 play there from Antic. You could see Zoranus came down both harassing Nox while also leashing the Raptors. That means that Swiper, he's able to do the quicker camp, get that level 2 first, and then whilst he flashes for the smite that doesn't land, he still has enough damage to kill Nox. So that red buff transferred, that early level 1 play, camp denied away. Antic, fantastic opening here to game 1.
Certainly is the best possible start for them, and you already highlighted some of the strengths of what their comp can provide. And as for Fear, if they fall behind, there are some concerns, and it certainly isn't the best way to settle those jitters, calm those nerves, and to get that game one under wraps. You have to see now what Nox can do to look to try and rectify the situation. Fresh of reset, he has nothing to purchase, it's just straight to the blue.
And just look at the tracking as well. Dragu there off the shoved wave is going to be able to walk in and place a ward on the enemy blue buff. So Nox here will be tracked throughout his entire jungle sequence, which makes this Vi, who already has a really tough time finding anything against the comp of Antic, so much harder to play here in the early game. Now, if he does go for this invade, he does have a slight mid lane HP advantage from that good trading from Chirp. But Smite is online for Swiper. He can use it if he needs to, but Nox is here.
The Smite does come out there from Swiper, steadfast presence proactively. Or proactively rather, to try and prevent any kind of engage or a little bit of a trade to get some form of clear advantage. But Nox really does become a passenger, just witnessing Swiper deny that camp away from him. He's going to peer his head into the mid lane as well, and look at Ryoma, who is just TP back to lane as Chirp dumps in. The minefield goes down, the flash dash not to be found, and Ryoma just gets to pebble them with stones as he walks away to safety.
You're very happy with that trade though if you are Nox, right? Because now that opens up a window for when Chirp hits that level 6 mark to be able to find that shuffle with the flash that he still has. And also off the back end, he'll be able to pick up a Scuttle Crab. So despite his pretty bad start, you know, you're losing your life at level 2 is definitely not something you want as any jungler. A Swiper here in the mid lane.
Yeah, really nice Hex Flash there into False Flash as well. So that flash advantage you mentioned that Chirp had moments prior, that's completely gone away. And now it does become that even matchup. He can just TP back to lane, but it opens the ability for Swiper just to walk across and take the respawn of the enemy Raptors once more. And now mid lane really does become the focus with no flash existing. Very, very vulnerable.
And what is it with Swiper in game 1s? He just seems like a different beast here. Like I said, that flash advantage would have been so huge, but he comes and takes it back. Now Chirp here in the mid lane. Draku's also here.
That's cute, that's clever, and it's a phenomenal Hex Flash across the wall. Seismic shove, headbutt one way, hook the other. You've just TP'd back to lane, and you're dead.
Super intelligent play there. Nice collapse from Swiper, cancelling the Azir dash. And because he had no flash from that previous play, Draku's just able to walk up, layer the CC, and give Swiper his second kill of the game here. So, you know, we mentioned mid lane being such a volatile part of this game, and Zoran is actually looking for a little bit of a trade here. Doesn't have the boomerang available, so won't be able to actually find it now. Question is, can Tomasino get the crash here? He does have his jungler in the area and a health pot, but it will be spotted here. So likely Tomasino just going to push this wave in and try to get a base. Meanwhile, Nox will be looking at these void drops.
So he will be, and he's going to look to try and prey upon the fact that Tomasino does have the crash in top, that he can utilize that to take this with a little to no variance on whether or not Swiper would be in the area. We know that he's pathing towards it now, but it may be too little too late with one already taken, a second being worked on. Swiper, though, is going to look to try and contest that second one, enough so that does force the punch out to safety. So his mere presence is enough to say, I just cannot contest.
Look at the item disparity, Skimmy. That's really the main thing here. It's a whole Barmy Cinder, cloth armor, and boots to absolutely nothing from Nox beside that Moss Stomper seedling. So definitely not in a position to be able to find that combat advantage. We can see the bot lane actually surprisingly even here for Fury, which if you are a fan of this team and you have watched them in recent weeks, you'd definitely be happy with. Often their bot lane has been getting pressured under their turret, losing plates and whatnot. But in this lane, especially with Draku being out of it for quite a substantial amount of time, it looks like they'll be able to equalize the CS department. So Swiper really has been running this map so far. He has been the quarterback, making plays on both sides of the map. Now he will go for this Raptor camp. Nox does know the respawn timer because he was here on that previous take. But what's this Vi actually going to do? It's a Doran's Blade Longsword. Poppy does so much base damage at this point in the game. But unfortunately, Vi is not able to win that 1v1.
Yeah, and every single time he looks to try and make a play happen, he's just getting bullied off, knowing that Swiper is in the area and that his team would be there to deploy and respond first. So whilst you've scattered out the respawn of that enemy Raptors and you've looked at that, stop the Dragon, and you just walk away there after Dragon copied a whole bunch of damage, so much so that he forced the flash away to safety as King sneezes on Hooper, now goes flap, 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 and hits everybody in proximity. A flash dash and a punch to the head as Swiper on the Poppy is now 3-0.
Why not make this jungle pick a carry here? Swiper playing for his team, but ultimately he is the one with all the kills now. A really nice roam towards the bot lane. Trades flashes with Hooper. Hits the Q as he's point blank, and despite the Ghost running, he has that Buckler passive available to secure the kill here. And off the back end of that, they will be looking at this Dragon now. Looks to be largely uncontested as the members of Fury are walking back to base. But already Antic, 1,500 gold lead, 2 grubs. Zoran is looking at Tomasino here.
Certainly is looking at Tomasino, hitting the ultimate straight into that wall and guaranteeing that Tomasino's under a lot of pressure right now. He's going to go in for that respawn off the boulder. He needs that damage and forces out the flash. Preemptive in towards that tri-bush, but Ryoma comes in with a drive-by, denied by an even bigger wall than the one that he can provide. And all that vision getting planted, but he's going to get away scot-free.
Just short there of being able to find that kill. I was surprised a little bit that Zoranus didn't just immediately follow Flash with that Tomasino play going over the wall. So let's take a look once again at how this bot lane play starts out. So Fido and Hooper, they're trading aggressively to be able to get this wave in. Draku really chunked out, but by this time they've committed very far up the lane. That means once Swiper shows, flashes at basically the exact same time, and it takes down Hooper. So really nice response here. Swiper just at the right place at the right time, it feels like, punishing every single lane on the map.
Yeah, phenomenal read right on, as you say, the preemptive flash to anticipate what Hooper's move would be. And I think really they're going to feel frustrated. You can see the sort of dismay in Findo's reaction when that play went awry, given that he's almost been baited into a false sense of hope that they were going to get that kill onto Drake, who he soaked up so much, flashed away to safety, and by that point, so well overextended. It was very easy then for the Poppy to rock up and shut you down. And it does, once again, raise the point of how does Nox get back into this game? Whilst you could raise the argument that level 6 and the cease and desist is still incredibly strong, still at the end of the day, this Poppy is a carry, and is this going to deny all the mobility that your comp is built to do?
Yeah, you have to play on the opposite side of the map here if you're Nox. If there's any time it's a 3v3, Swiper will simply just win, not only because of the value that he's getting from his W, but also just the pure item advantage that he has at this stage. So I'd really like to see Nox being able to pair up with either Fido or Chirp. I think mid lane is definitely a point you can still continue to attack, even with the Talia flash being present. If you just buy her, perhaps force a flash and then you're able to get the scoop back, that can be an avenue for the kill here. And, kind of flipping the script on the last game. Yes, Chirp has gone down, but he's going for the scoop.
He is going for that scoop. Can they funnel up the Vi ultimate thereafter? It's just not enough because Nox is a little bit lagging behind as Swiper jumps across that minefield and says, actually, it's a 3v2. Draku threatening with that dredge line, but the minion wave being in such a position that Fury are very defensive on their retreat away. It would have been a bit of an overreach at that point in the game. Smite to secure that top side scuttler as they hover in the area looking at the second respawn of these Void Grubs.
But look at this, Fury's brought up their bot lane to be able to have an advantageous position here for this second respawn. And with Hooper in the area, it looks like they might be looking at the Zoranus here. Still has flash though.
Looking for Zoranus, he leaps away, comes to one ultimate, then gets locked in place. No Magnet Storm available, so all it is about is that Blade Caller to rip back the feathers, but not enough damage found. Findo incredibly low. Ryoma TPing up the top. Silent says hello. Seismic shove, flashed away from. Out comes the Featherstorm, knocks us low, flash to kill. Roma gets it, pebbles onto Findo. The angles are wrong. The tower destroys him. And Hooper answers back with the first kill here for Antic. Dracu has no flash, just a Hex. But it won't be enough, so Findo gets away.
Fury bring up 4, but Antic, they have 4 of their own, and they are simply stronger there. Nice TP in from Ryoma to get that nice position. So we take a look once again here. It starts with a pick to Zoranus, but look at his flash here. That's really the key thing. They find the CC from the Rel, but he flashes just in time for that Xayah E to not be able to connect, not able to root and do the damage that it would need to. And that means that he's able to escape with his life. And by the time Ryoma actually gets into this play, he does so much damage on this Talia that yes, he unfortunately goes down, but it will be in exchange for 2 kills and all three of those remaining Void grubs going over to Swiper.
But they certainly are, Max. So 5 grubs in their favor, Void Mites to be spawned, and map pressure to certainly be acquired and utilized. We saw just how strong it was, how prevalent it was in the 2 best of 3s last night, where the team that got it, the team that had the better understanding of setting up for that macro, were just too good to press their leads. So you're anticipating that with it already being a 2k lead at 11 minutes, by the 15-minute mark, we should see some turrets falling down.
Yeah, any alone time, especially for a Nah, who is going to be, you assume, building towards a Trinity Force, will definitely result in some quick takes here. Now, 40 seconds on this next Dragon does raise the question of, do either team want to fight it? You can see Chirp here with the Nash's Tooth completed. He just TP'd back into mid lane to be able to contest the priority here. And Hooper does have his own Kraken Slayer. You can see already how much damage this is actually able to do if he's allowed to hit. But as of right now, Tomasino is walking towards the top lane. He does have his TP coming up in just a second. Crucially, Skimmy though, Findo, he's not level 6, doesn't have that Rel ultimate available, but Nautilus certainly does.
Yeah, so we're going to try and find the bullet and find them from the right here and now. They descend upon their one key target, remove Chirp, no he's in, no damage, no chance to try and answer back in this team fight. It's just too easy, Max, as they wipe the floor and pick up 2.
So simple, they just walk into River, use the depth charge on towards Chirp, who's picked off, isolated. And yes, the members of Fury, in a couple seconds they'd be able to respond, but as of that play, there's no TP available from Tomasino. Hooper doesn't want anything to do with that fight, and Antic simply squeezing the trigger on another misnumbered fight. This is almost exactly what it felt like in their game 1 yesterday against Ground Zero, where they're always the first ones to pull that trigger, always the first ones to find that decisive fight. And here they will absolutely do so and net themselves a 3,000 gold lead in the process.
Yeah, they certainly will, but you can imagine that Fury are going to be kicking themselves because Finder just ticks across to level 6, and whilst you can make the argument that, yeah, Chirp was incredibly strong, which was true, he didn't have the ability to counteract this engage. Dracu noticing that just says, well, why don't we just hit the ultimate and take him out?
Yeah, super easy. I mean, he tries to create the distance here, but the counter engage on top of that is there from Swiper. So despite the Emperor's Divide coming through, there's simply too much damage. And look at the position of the top and AD carry here. They're both confined to their waves. So they are nowhere near being able to help their mid laner out there. And ultimately, Fury, this is an early game comp. They do need to be finding picks with this Vi. So far, nothing has fallen in their favor, though. Some turret plates will be a consolation prize. I mean, Tomasino was able to get some up in towards that top lane, whilst Zoranus was making waves down in the bottom. And it will be actually the Sundered Sky Aatrox coming online. I just want to personally say, I hate this build. I think Aatrox finds so much more value with the lethality in terms of being able to find damage. And even the healing that you're getting from Sundered Sky, you take into account all the damage and all the healing you're able to get from the lethality build. I think it really speaks to Tomasino valuing the safety and the perhaps more HP the Sundered Sky is going to give him.
Yeah, we certainly have seen a bit of a mixed bag of Sundered Sky users instead of the Profane Hydra, which definitely in recent times has looked to be the S-tier variation, if you will. But it's only a good point to be raised, knowing that Zoranus is going to keep him at Arms Bay. He is still keeping the lane even, but it's obviously in isolation because he's allowed to just walk out of lane, and it's just Swiper that is so far ahead. 5-0, already with the Frozen Heart. It's going to find infinite value in this game as Ryoma gets jumped upon here by that cease and desist. Nox is going to simply die to the tower. The Emperor's Divide at point blank range finds the shutdown. There's kill number 2 here for Fury as Dracu, locked underneath his own tower, receives the Magnet Storm, burns down to the Ignite, and grants Chirp a double.
There's the aggression we wanted to see from Fury. Nox pulls the trigger. He does go down, but it is absolutely a worthy sacrifice here. Chirp getting so much gold into his back pocket off the end of that. And the TP from Tomasino to secure things don't go awry, but that's going to open up this window here in the top lane. Swiper does have this Rift Herald, will drift it in nicely. And with all those Void Mites, all this time to really make waves in this top lane, he's going for a second charge.
And he certainly would do, because it's just going to be too little too late before Fury can respond to this one. So infinite value capitalized on there. And really open up this top lane now to work in their favor. 3 members, make it 4 from the side of Fury. Find themselves here, but by that point, there's nothing left to do. So once again, Antic have run this map and very content with how state of the game is 15 minutes in.
Yeah, definitely 2 dragons up here. As we take a look once again at this bot lane play, you can see Dracu's hovering in the area because he suspects something is up, but Nox just pulls the trigger anyway, locking Ryoma up for so long that even with this flash out, Chirp is able to make up that distance and get the kill here. Now, Findo does a nice job of tanking up this turret. I'm really not sure why this TP came through. Perhaps Tomasino wanted to do this preemptively in case any more members of Antic did show up. But that really did open the window there in the top side for Antic to make their play. So despite those 2 kills going over, ultimately the turret gold really being the deciding factor that's keeping this gold lead pretty even. But as I say that, Findo's been caught.
Yeah, supports are boring right now as they trade ults in a result of a fight that really is still Antic favored. Out comes an Emperor's Divide. It's working so well for Fury as Dracu flashing across the wall. Ryoma low and the feathers take him down. Tomasino flashing to safety, but across the wall goes King. Flap, 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 in your face, lifesteal. It looks good, but it's not enough. Zominus takes him down, and it will just be a 2-for-1.
Disengage is king there, as this fight might not be over. Swiper's caught out, does have flash, but he goes by.
Big bounty to be achieved that it can get this Poppy. He's getting lower and lower, down to 200. He's flashing away. Is it enough? The hook goes out. Dracu might concede his life in the process, making sure that that bounty is protected. Antic are out, but the charge is being looked at. And Nox says it's not enough. Craziness there for Antic to get away.
Oh, it's so close to getting that huge bounty onto Swiper there. Dracu almost looked like he was sacrificing his life. But ultimately, it will be all members of Antic able to walk away from that fight. And you could really see there the value of the Poppy to Leah in those extended sequences. I'm sure we will get a replay, but it was all the members of Fury. They thought they found the good engage, but simply they couldn't layer their CC effectively. We take a look once again. Findo kind of getting caught out here, just fishing for vision. Finds Dracu, and you can see, goes forward, flashes onto Ryoma using the Magnet Storm, but look at how they locked down Chirp. This Emperor's Divide isn't able to find much value, and then the Keeper's Verdict to separate those 2 members of Fury from the entire fight. So yes, Ryoma falls down, but this is a Sundered Sky Aatrox. Doesn't have the damage to be able to kill King. And then off the back end, we all know what happens. They try to find the pick onto Swiper, but a phase rush Poppy with flash is possibly one of the hardest targets to take down in the entire game.
Yeah, he wanted that vision, gridded for the control ward, and then he gets punished in the process, but gets away with 200 health to his name. And as you rightly mentioned, Dracu looking as if he wants to concede it. No doubt King's happy about it. He knows he can just flap the safety. He picks up some more stacks as he works towards that late game condition. Already sitting on an item and a half, and 186. So not too far away now for the magical 225 execute, and we certainly have seen our fair share of what that means.
And once again, he's deathless at this point, right? They haven't been able to actually successfully find any engages onto this Smolder with how much disengage and how much frontline there is present. It is a rare game to see that Ryoma is actually down in CS, but he's opting for a more defensive build on this Talia here, right? The Archangel's into what you have to assume is going to be like a Zhonya's second, or either he just sits on this Seeker's arm guard and holds it for the active. But right now, this Talia is very much on bodyguard duty for the rest of her carries, right? Using that E, using all the playmaking with that flick that she can get to buy space for King. And on top of the gold graphs, no surprise there, Zorinus and King trailed just 100 gold, really, by Chirp here as he takes the control of second place.
Yeah, I think quite achiever has been Hooper, right? Whilst it's, 2-2-0, he's got the bounty and he's up there in that top 4 conversation. So he's hadn't had the easiest time to try and showcase just how strong he would be, but no doubt as you can get the Navori Quickblades online, there certainly is a massive power spike that comes through for the Xayah as a result. It's not very often we get to see Swiper play from a carry position. His entire champion pool has been that as the facilitator, one to gank, one to tank, and one to try and be there to protect his team. But on this occasion, he's incredibly strong. The Weaver's Wall actually griefing him, so they break it nice and early. The flash away to safety. King on the hunt. The Dragon to slow. Dracu waiting for the hook cooldown. That's up in 3 seconds. He's still going. The rest of his team are backing away. They say, all right, fair enough, you're keen for this kill. So they'll look for it, but they don't have a flash available. 2 Hex flashes for their engage options. So Chirp gets away.
That's one of the best played escapes I think I've ever seen, but I think I just spoke too soon. Oh no.
He's ran the gauntlet there. He really thought he'd done enough to try and evade all 4 targets on the side of Antic, but much like a horror maze, he was not prepared for that one.
I mean, I thought he'd done enough. Certainly in his jungle, he will be found eventually, and that will result in this second tier turret going over to Antic as well. But look, I did want to commend the initial play there from Chirp, right? Using the Emperor's Divide really nicely to split the members away from him, and then a really nice shuffle combined with Flash to create space. Yes, he goes down, but it does buy a lot of time for his teammates. So you can see now, heading back to base and really hitting item spikes across the board here, Skimmy. Shojin completed for Tomasino on this Aatrox, feeling very good about these extended trades with the damage he's going to be able to get. And there is the quick plays. That is really the big spike you're wanting to get out of this Xayah. Now an absolute machine if she's able to DPS in team fights, but with only 2 minutes left on this Dragon, which could be a potential soul for Antic, there certainly is no room for error as we head into these mid-game fights.
Right, you are, and it begs the question then, what will these teams look to try and do then? Is it a case of playing it passive and waiting for that all-decisive soul point for Antic to try and pick up, or would they even look at the idea of contesting the Baron? Because Tomasino and Ryoma go for a cheeky 1v1, the World Ender gets popped, the depth charge comes out, and Tomasino is simply running the wrong way. He wants to try and lifesteal, but the hook blocks them in place, and Ryoma hits him to the dome with a big old boulder, and Baron is going to get started here by Fury, so instantly jumps in, knocks a fantastic flash to safety across the wall there by Zominus as he works his way towards Mega. You can see the desperation, the time being purchased bot side, but the Baron was snuffed out.
Yeah, there's not going to be enough damage really to get this Baron down at this stage. Yes, they have an Azir and Desire as Chirp's looking onto Swiper.
Fly coming on out to play, but King's got the execute right now, so if they lay enough CC to try and take him out, he flashes into safety. He is going to die, Chirp getting an all-important shot, and this may be a winning fight now for the side of Fury. They found 2 so far, and it's not going back against them. Double for Hooper. The power spike is there, but Zominus rocks up in mini form. He barrages down with the Black Cleaver, as well as that Trinity Force as Ryoma disengaging away to the top side. A double now found by the Snar. Findo hanging out in the bush. They don't know where he is. It's a game of cat and mouse as to who wants to face check first, but Tomasino respawning, TP's into effect, and flashes to guarantee he doesn't miss.
Big shutdown and a bigger fight from Fury there, getting almost all the members of Antic, and crucially some bounty gold will be coming with that. It's really Hooper who executes that fight incredibly nicely. You can see it starts with this initial pick onto Swiper. I think he assumes as a Poppy he's not going to be the one getting engaged upon, but because of that initial fight they're able to find room onto King, and yes, once that smolders down, that's so much of your damage actually gone. Fury do a fantastic job of linking as a 4-man unit to be able to provide space for Hooper to DPS. But once Zorinus gets in, this Mini-Gnar does so much damage, almost like a little AD carry on his own. And he will really clean up the fight here for Antic. Tomasino TPing in, commits the TP and the flash, but does secure the kill onto Gnar. So an absolute bloodbath, but for a game where Antic, you would say, is pretty firmly in control, finding an even fight like that is absolutely valuable. But here goes the Dragon. This is Soul.
That certainly is Soul. So that goes to keep it footed nicely. They remove away the Chirp, but it doesn't matter because Nox has stolen away the Dragon. They delayed that Soul point, but can they delay their demise as they're falling down in this fight? Double for King, who finds revenge at the side of his last defeat, as they will respond by taking 2 and going straight to Baron.
Yeah, I mean, this Baron's just dead, right? You lose your jungler, you lose your support. Where is the engage? And your ability to contest this Baron, the answer is it is simply non-existent. So Nox, he does deny the soul, but you really have to question if that is worth it here, as now you can see Antic, they've based Ryoma, and Draku is just behind him as well, wanting to defend this tier 2 turret, but Chirp, he's dashed in.
What a phenomenal stun there for Ryoma, completely breaking the ankles there of Chirp, who was hunting for the Empress Divide and wanted to scoop the flashless Talia. It's not to be, as Tomasino cannot find the chains and is hunting for the Q3 repeat. But a seismic shove completely ruins his day as Draku keeps him in place. He dashes to safety. The Weavers will to say, you're not getting away. And the Pebbles with the stopwatch to get it all done.
Worst possible outcome for Fury there. They lose the Baron and then they lose the 2v2 on the bot side as well. Not even able to break the turret. As we can take a look at how this fight starts once again. You can see Keeper's Verdict shoves Chirp out of the fight. And yes, Nox gets it. but he commits so far in, so does Findo, and these members are just picked off by the DPS available from Smolder. It's the easiest Baron of their lives, and now with the 7,000 gold lead still on Soul Point as well, there's a lot to play for, a lot of objectives, a lot of standing gold to be broken here, and really blow this game wide open.
Certainly is. 2 minutes then on that Baron buff to be utilized to open up extra parts of the map. They've already completely exposed top lane, as they could look to certainly knock on the front door of the base of Fury. But mid and bot to still be looked at. That's exactly where Antic are setting themselves up for right here and now. Lots of flashes missing. Certainly a fair degree of creativity to be unlocked. But I'm looking at Chirp in particular to try and be the hero.
It's so hard though to actually be able to get into a position to use that flash. I mean, ideally, he wants to be able to scoop Ryoma and King in. But the simple fact is, if he's using that Aziri aggressively, there are 1,000,001 tools that Antic can use to shut you down, to pull you out of that motion and prevent you from getting into that game-changing position with that Emperor's Divide. So for the time being, Chirp will be isolated on mid lane as Nox. He might burn down here.
Oh, nearly dying to the sneeze of the Smolder there, but he just gets away intact. Now comes the Dragon, has such a long range, but it's a little bit too late. By that point, Nox was already by that fountain. Peter Hooper is incredibly strong as he matches the free items off this Smolder, but that bot lane tower is going to fall on down with the Inspired Cannons buffed up by the Baron. You can see also to the side in the mid-wave where Chirp was taking a 1v1 into Dominus to prevent that 1-4 split working against them. It wasn't to be. Dominus reigns supreme, HP intact, and another tower to fall on down. Out goes the Edgeline, Seismic shot to defeat it, and it's just too easy again.
Beautiful Weaver's Wall there from Ryoma. Nox doesn't want to use the flash to get over it, so kind of plays this little mini-game. But Draku is more than happy to take those. Lands the hook, breaks this second inhib, and they've still got Baron for 30 seconds. They're looking to close this game out right now.
With Baron and 5 grubs, they do so much damage, especially with this wave intact. Double cannons, but they don't want to risk it. They certainly do not want to take any chances. Despite it being a 5v4 and 27 minutes in, they'll put a little bit of chip damage into those Nexus towers, but they've taken 2 inhibitors. They say, you know, job well done.
Yeah, job very well done. 5,500 gold. The Baron power play going in their favor. And they're actually not even going to reset here. Ryoma does get his off to pick up that Medjai's, as they will look towards breaking open the last remaining tier 3. Tomasino looking for a base, but there aren't really any good TP wards for him to actually get access to the back line. For the time being, Antic, they will break this. Fury, when do you go? Are you going to give over these 3 inhibitors? But now Dredgeline lands.
It does so, and that means lights out for Chirp. That was their saving grace, their strongest member. Double kill, easy as you like it there for King, as he just flaps those tiny little dragon wings and hunts for more, hunting for his own kind of pentakill. But it's going to be denied as Fury retreats inside their fountain. Tomasino hunting for a kill onto Dominus. He flashes to safety, but he's always going to fall on down. That's a triple kill, but not anymore. 2 delayed on this occasion as Swiper locks in fact 2. The Magna Storm comes out as the tower works overtime, but he flashes to safety as well. Double into double on the towers. And stuck inside the base is Hooper as he watches the world burn around him. And Antic take game 1 in just over 28 minutes.
They came off one of the most devastating losses of the split last night, but this game